Swadika, good morning and welcome to Newsline. We are broadcasting live on NBT Radio Thailand, FM 88 and also on NBT World. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. It's Wednesday's edition, November the 12th of 2014. I'm Cholapan Sanarula. In today's Thailand Moves Forward, Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha has given a speech during the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC summit, pressing that Thailand upholds the democratic principles and will need time to create a sustainable democratic system. Prime Minister Prayut gave a speech at the APEC summit in Beijing, China, about regional economic cooperation and innovative development. He said that the integration of countries will strengthen the Asia-Pacific region and will help the global economy's recovery. Thailand is supportive for the Beijing Roadmap for a Free Trade Agreement, or FTA-AP. To achieve the goal, APEC must continue negotiations under the WTO framework while considering the different levels of development in each country. The Thai Prime Minister said that Thailand endorses the democratic principle. He said Thailand requires time to develop an enduring democratic system that upholds good governance, equality, transparency and fairness in all sectors. He said that the goal of APEC is to create economic growth that is sustainable, fair and inclusive to all sectors. The Thai government is focusing on the development that will eliminate poverty and social inequalities. The APEC's cooperation, which has been developed from close relations, has laid the foundation for a balanced and sustainable development plan while also establishing transparency and minimizing the effects on the environment, which is in the same direction that the Thai government is implementing. Meanwhile, the Thai Prime Minister has expressed appreciation towards his counterparts from various countries for their understanding and respect towards Thailand's internal affairs. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha made the comments after attending a welcoming party for APEC leaders at the APEC Economic Leaders meeting held in Beijing. Prime Minister Prayut said no comments were made about the Thai political conflict at the party. He said all leaders he met, including US President Barack Obama, only expressed a caring attitude on the situation, and he reassured them he would do his best for the national recovery while asking for a period of time for the reform. He also invited all leaders to visit Thailand. Speaking about problems in the deep south of Thailand, he said the APEC economic leaders supported the current solutions made by the Thai government. They understood that different nations need different solutions and they adhere to the principle of non-interference in internal affairs of other states. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha is scheduled to attend the 25th ASEAN Summit 2014 in Naypyidaw, Myanmar, on November 12th till the 13th. In the summit, ASEAN leaders will collectively revise the vision of ASEAN community integration and define a new vision to be implemented after 2015. General Prayut is expected to use this opportunity to show the creative roles of Thailand in ASEAN development and also push forward an urgent cooperation in anti-human and drug trafficking and in disaster response operation, which the Prime Minister thinks should be brought to concrete action in 2015. On the ASEAN vision after 2015, the Prime Minister will throw his support to the People's Agenda, or people-centered community, in order to achieve a sustainable development in education and public health and to reduce social gaps through the eradication of poverty. Apart from the summit, ASEAN leaders are also scheduled to meet with their dialogue partners, namely Japan, China, South Korea and the United States, India, Australia, as well as the Secretary-General of the United Nations. Moreover, there will be the Mekong-Japan Summit, the ASEAN +3 Summit and the East Asia Summit, the results from which will contribute to the integration of ASEAN into a single community. Let's have a look on the inheritance tax law now. Finance Minister Sommai Pasi has postponed submitting the Inheritance Tax Draft Act to the Cabinet, saying he would propose it to the Cabinet when Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha returns from Myanmar. Despite the postponement, the minister confirmed the Inheritance Tax Draft Act was ready to be considered by the Cabinet. He said he decided to put it off because he wanted the Premier to acknowledge the draft act in person. Deputy Prime Minister Wisnu Kurungam would also help clarify the legislation to the Cabinet. After the Inheritance Tax Act is enforced, those who inherit assets worth more than 50 million baht are obligated to pay a levy from 10% to 30% of the asset's value. The government has said it hopes that the law will help reduce inequality in Thailand. Energy Minister Narongchai Akaraserani has confirmed that the mission of restructuring domestic energy prices will be accomplished within 1 year's time in a bid to ensure energy security for the country. During his speech at an economic seminar, Mr. Narongchai pointed out that Thailand was still at risk of energy shortage in the future and the problem would need to be addressed at haste. To be able to handle the ever-increasing consumption of energy, he insisted that actions must be taken to ensure the country would have sufficient energy for use in the long run. The minister particularly voiced concerns over the domestic supply of natural gas. He said despite the sharp increases in demand in recent years, gas exploration projects were still met with strong opposition from the civil sector, forcing the country to have to rely on imported gas from neighbouring countries. As part of the policy to ensure energy security and provide fairness to all consumers, the Energy Minister revealed that the overhaul of the energy price structure had already begun and assured it would be completed within 1 year from now. The Minister said prices of benzene products had been reduced in line with the global trend, whereas motorists using gasohol, NGV and LPG would have to pay more as a result of the gradual termination of fuel subsidy. The National Legislative Assembly, or NLA, has resolved to postpone the review date of the impeachment case of former Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra from November 12 to November 28, as was requested by her lawyers. Dr. Jade Sirathranon, spokesperson of the NLA Whip, announced that the NLA Whips have resolved to postpone the review date of the impeachment case of the former Prime Minister's corruption allegations during the rice pledging scheme. The case has been rescheduled after the NLA reviews the impeachment cases of former Senate President Nikom Vairachpanit and former House Speaker Somsaket Suranon, whose case reviews will take place on November 27th. Dr. Jade added that the meeting on November 28th will be to establish an official case opening day, as well as an interrogation committee, which will consist of 16 committee members and 5 NLA whips. And the president of the National Reform Council denied rumours that the council's setting up of all standing committees has been filled with conflict. On Tuesday, the NRC has completed the setting up of all 18 standing committees with respective chairs and deputy chairs already selected. Before the completion of the setting up process, NRC President Tianchai Kiranan came out to deny that there had been conflicts among council members to select all committees. With all 18 committees in place, one member from each of them joined 8 other representatives from the National Reform Council to form an NRC whip, which is tasked with the responsibility to coordinate all the works of the council. Mr. Tianchai added that the setting up of 18 special committees is the start of the work to compile information and data to help plan the structure of the draft charter for the Constitutional Drafting Council. And the Constitution Drafting Council is planning to call in political parties throughout next week and activist groups the week after in a bid to collect their opinions regarding the new charter. CDC spokesperson Kamnoon Sithisaman disclosed that the committee is scheduled to hold talks next week with prominent political parties, including those with differing ideologies, and listen to their suggestions on the Constitution drafting process. He elaborated that the discussions with Pheu Thai Party will take place on Monday, Democrat Party on Tuesday, Phum Chai Thai and Chat Thai Patana parties on Wednesday, Chat Patana and Palang Chon parties on Thursday, and the Matapum and Rak Thailand parties on Friday. Meanwhile, the United Front for Democracy Against Dictatorship will be invited in on November 24th. Its rival groups, the People's Democratic Reform Committee and the People's Alliance for Democracy, will be summoned on November 25th. As for other small-sized political parties, the responsible subcommittee of the National Reform Council will visit them on later occasions for their input. Mr. Kamnoon expressed high hopes to receive cooperation from all sides while promising that the CDC will perform its duty with utmost fairness and neutrality. Bank of Thailand Governor Prasan Trairatwarakul has delivered a speech on economic trend and investment opportunities when AEC begins to financial institutions in Ayutthaya province. Executives from financial institutions as well as the industrial and education sectors attended the conference, during which they were informed of the rules and regulations which would enable them to do business in the ASEAN region. They also gained a greater understanding of free trade and cash flow, which could cause the currencies to fluctuate. It is important for those seeking business opportunities to know their way around businesses and investments once the ASEAN Economic Community is formed. The Department of Lands has indicated it is looking to issue as many as 30,000 land deeds in the 3 southern border provinces and areas in the vicinity of Budo Sungai Padi National Park to facilitate efforts to quell unrest in the Deep South. Department Director General Siripong Hantrakul revealed that his department was moving quickly to issue land certificates for land plots in the Deep South that already had certificates of utilization or other types of certificates. Department officials will also consider issuing the title deeds for land without any certificates, but which has been practically claimed by the local residents. The drive is meant to grant locals the right to land that they have been living on and reduce conflicts on interest stemming from land use. Locals will also be able to use title deeds as collateral when taking out loans. Mr. Siripong said that over the past 4 months, his department had been able to issue land certificates for 225 plots of land out of the 30,000 target plots. The aim is to finish the issuance within the year 2018. Delegates from England, Australia, New Zealand and Thailand have attended the World War Remembrance Ceremony for Allied soldiers. The British Ambassador to Thailand, His Excellency Mark Kent, Australian Ambassador to Thailand Paul Rebellion, New Zealand Ambassador to Thailand Tony Lynch and Governor of Kanchanaburi Wanchai Osukontip, along with officials and veterans from four countries, have attended the Remembrance Ceremony at Dok Rak War Cemetery in Kanchanaburi Province. Wreaths have been placed in the ceremony to commemorate those who have sacrificed their lives in the World War. The Remembrance Ceremony is held on November 11th of every year. This ceremony also is an opportunity for countries to uphold their good relations. People who are planning a holiday visit to Thailand can now feel reassured about personal safety during the stay in the kingdom, as the Royal Thai Police have shown readiness to safeguard both locals and foreign tourists visiting favorite spots all over the country. Kun Suchani Rungmuanporn has the report.
Welcome to Thailand, a land of ancient culture, white sandy beaches, and awe-inspiring islands. For many decades, Thailand has been celebrated as one of the finest must-go-to destinations in the world. Every year, Thailand welcomes nearly 30 million tourists, especially the resorts of the Andaman Sea. The country's appeal ranges from beach heaven in the south of Thailand to the classic cultural attractions of the mountainous north. Every sector in Thailand is collaborating to assure tourists of a safe and carefree vacation. The police put their abilities on show last week by demonstrating how they would rescue tourists who have accidents while at sea, in the forest, or in mountainous hiking areas, by calling in their high-powered police helicopters in cases of extreme emergency.
We use the helicopter. We use the people who have the high skill to tying down from the helicopter to help down below for the tourists who are injured and will die in a field out. So we have to respond and help them out from the accident place immediately to send to the hospital.
In situations that need urgent help, equipment and rescue devices are already stationed in the busiest places, such as tourist spots all around the country, especially in the southern and northern regions, where a huge influx of tourists are enjoying their holidays. If you're a forest or mountain lover, you can also put your mind at ease during your vacation, knowing that the Thai Police Air Wing is on standby for rescue operations, with police units stationed in those areas.
We use for the ground staff and use the radio or use the GPS or use smartphone to bring them out from the forest. We do is training on and on all the time.
These officers are specifically trained to save lives in perilous situations. Intensive training has been provided to these officers stationed all around the country. So if you have any questions, please go directly to the police officer, or just dial the Tourist Police Hotline 1155, or go to your Apple or Android App Store and search for Tourist Buddy application, from which your location can be directly sent to the police. Sushani Rumanpon, NBT World.
And all of the athletes from the 45 participating countries in the 4th Asian Beach Games have arrived in Phuket, Thailand, starting their training as the Games will officially kick off on Friday, November 14th. One of the teams is the Qatari beach football team, which was seen commencing its first practice session at Sapan Hind Stadium, one of the actual competing venues, aiming at familiarizing its players with the combat ground before their matches. The Qatari beach soccer team will compete with Iran, Lebanon and Iraq in Path B. Thailand on Path A will meet Japan, 2-time champion, Bahrain 1-time champion and Uzbekistan. The Thai beach soccer team would meet Uzbekistan on Saturday, 4 p.m. And that's it for Thailand Moves Forward. We'll take a short break and we will return with the international news. And here's a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices.
Maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The 9th core value, being conscious and mindful of actions in line with His Majesty the King's royal statements.
Faithful Buddhists are invited to donate to the building of a huge Buddha statue known as Praputta Metta. It's to be constructed at Tepratan Temple, Soidao, Jantaburi. With a 20,000 baht donation, the donor's name will be engraved on the foundations of the statue. Those wishing to contribute may make their donations at the Royal Thai Embassy or at the Consulate General in each country, 7-Eleven convenience stores and stores with counter service signs, Krung Thai Bank, Siam Commercial Bank or Bangkok Bank. Please contact the phone numbers shown for more details.
How could you do that to me? Stop it! Huh? Don't you get it? I don't need you anymore. Enough! We're through. There's someone else in my life.
Say no to the past. Bring your own bag. Say no to plastic.
Hit the beach, see local sight, and soak in the spirit of the 4th Asian Beach Games in Phuket. From the 14th to 23rd of November, be a part of this exciting chart scene. Watch and cheer as the region's top athletes battle to be the best in 26 beach sports and help extend true Thai hospitality to the 4th Asian Beach Games. Hosted by the Ministry of Tourism and Sport.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. The 22nd Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC Economic Leaders Meeting, has come to a close as the member nations set out to further promote partnership within the Asia-Pacific region, which was held for 2 days in Beijing, China, under the theme Shaping the Future Through Asia-Pacific Partnership. A joint statement has been released by the attending delegates to mark the 25th founding anniversary of APEC this year. The statement highlighted APEC's role as an important driving force for the global economy for the past 25 years and its achievements in many areas, including the facilitation of trade and investment through the signing of free trade deals and the reduction of economic disparities in the region. APEC was claimed to be on the verge of a new beginning, with many new opportunities and challenges coming its way, and efforts being made to bring about new approaches to regional development. Therefore, the statement said the member countries have come together to affirm their determination to carry their past success into the future through partnership, trust, inclusivity, and collaboration for mutual benefits. Thai Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha was among those joining the 22nd APEC Economic Leaders Meeting. He earlier announced to the meeting that Thailand was ready to support the implementation of the Beijing Declaration to pave the way for the development of the free trade area of the Asia-Pacific. Experts from the Netherlands dispatched to the wreckage site of the Malaysia Airline flight MH17 in eastern Ukraine. Officials and airplane investigators from the Netherlands and Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe visited the crash site of the Malaysian Airline MH17, which is believed to have been shot down in July. The team collected additional evidence and examined the venue amid tightened security. Earlier, the mission was hindered by the ongoing battle between the Ukrainian military and the rebel forces. Indian officials in Chhattisgarh state reported that 8 women died after receiving free vasectomy services from the government. The officials told the media that more than 80 women from the area received the treatment on Saturday, adding that one by one they started to show symptoms such as stomach pain, vomiting, and slow heartbeats. They said that by Monday, 8 of them passed away and 64 others were admitted to various hospitals within the state. Investigation is now underway to find out the cause of their deaths. In the U.S., snowfall has been reported in several areas in the northern states of the country after being hit by waves of unusual weather conditions. The cold waves are spreading from the northern region to the southern part of the country. According to the Meteorological Department, this event has caused cold snaps in several areas, citing that the first snow in Michigan is considered the earliest in 20 years. The department also warned residents to brace for harsher conditions and expects temperatures in some of the area to drop around 20 to 30 degrees Celsius, which is below the normal temperature. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. If you do have any suggestions or comments, please write to us. The email address is now appearing on your screen. It's newsline.nbt@gmail.com. Also reminding you that you can have a look at our website to check out more news, thainews.prd.go.th/news, that is. And today we say goodbye with the 9th birthday anniversary of the first elephant to wear a prosthesis leg in Lampang. I'm Chalap Hansan Rula. Have a good day. Sawasdee ka.